Hey, what's up guys, it's Mac here and welcome to our Blender tutorials, and this is just but a continuation of our Blender series. If you haven't watched the previous episodes, make sure you check out the cards on your screen. So here we're going to talk about how to unwrap and how to do it properly, so to speak. I know there are a lot of ways to do this, but I'm going to show you how I do things. So I'm actually going to teach you how to do this thing, because without knowing the unwrapping, you will not be able to put some textures on your katana. So without further ado, let's begin. So before we will be able to put some textures on this model that we have, we need to learn first how to unwrap things. What I mean by that is we need to put a texture layout more like it. So we go to the UV editing and we have to select certain parts such as the blade. So what we are going to do here is we're going to put some appropriate textures, I mean texture wrappings, so to speak. So let's just hide everything else besides the blade. Just hide this, hide that, hide that, anything else. Okay, so we are left with just the blade. Now select the blade, press tab on the edit mode and press shift alt, then select this edge over here, so we could have all of that part selected. Okay, and also do it in the other side. Shift alt this one, and also this sharp blade over here. Shift alt, then select this one. Just have to make sure everything's selected. Now press Ctrl E, then go to mark seam. Okay, after we do that, select all by pressing A and press U and do the unwrap, and there we go. So this is what we call the unwrapping. So we will have an idea which part should we texture first or whatever. Now I know this is the part wherein we cut it in the middle. This is just a part of that, and of course these are the other sides of each. So it doesn't matter how it looks like, but we're going to just paint something on that later on, so that you will just have an idea how we should do it. Now that we are done with that, let's just hide this and get the other parts. Okay, let's just select first everything, so you will have an idea how many parts are we supposed to unwrap first before we are going to make textures. Okay, now let's select this part over here, the blade hold, and just go into the edit mode by pressing tab, and let's just select this one, this one, no, not that one. I mean, yeah, we need to cut that part, cut this part. This is just like you are cutting a paper. You just have to make things look like it's flat, so you will be able to put texture in it. I guess that will be it. Again, press Ctrl E, go to mark seam, select all by pressing A, press U and go to unwrap. I guess that is so wrong. Yeah, it is wrong. I think we just need to leave this part. What's this? Control E, clear seam so that we could remove that. Then let's do that again. Unwrap. We need to cut in between these things over here. I guess this part need to cut here. Control E, mark seam, unwrap it again. No, that's fine. Okay, I guess that will be good. Let's just select all of this by selecting B, pressing B, and then move it to G, to Y, no, X axis. Yep. Because we have to resize all of those maps later on in accordance to the size of the blade. We're going to talk more about that later after we unwrap everything else. Okay, now we're done with that. Let's press this guard, and we have to be creative here. Let's just select go into the edge mode, shift out, and select all of these lines over here, and also again shift out and select all underneath, and then let's just cut it in front. So select this one, shift by pressing shift, and then press right click. Okay, I guess that will be fine. Again, Control E, mark seam, Control A, press U, then press unwrap. Guess that will do. Let's just move that again by pressing A, G, and go to the Z axis. Okay, so far so good. Now let's select this top pommel. I don't know how to name this thing, so yeah, just a little bit disclaimer over there. And I'm not really a blacksmith, so yeah. Anyway, let's unwrap this part. So select the thing and go to tab and just go to the face. Just select that face. I guess that will do. Control E, mark sim, then let's select the edge and just select this one and this one, and mark sim again. Press A, U, then unwrap. That would be fine. So let's select this again, and let's just move it over here. Yep. Okay. Now let's return that guard. Next thing is the handle first, because this wrappings will be the hardest part, because you know it has a lot of things going on over there, a lot of vertices and all, so we have to be careful on that. I mean unwrapping it. So let's just hide this wrappings first, selecting it and pressing H, and then let's just select this handle over here, press tab, press Z, and let's go to the wireframe so that we can see the whole thing. Let's go to the face mode, select that face, and also select the top face. Let's go to the edge mode again, just select this. Yep, I guess that's the middle, and just press again Control E, mark sim, select all, pressing A, press U, then unwrap, and that's our unwrapping over there. Let's just move this G, and let's go to Y axis. Let's just move it further. I'll let you know why later on. As of now, let's just Okay, let's go over here, press delete on the numpad section so that we can focus on that. Press Z, let's go, oops, not that one, press Z, then go into solid mode. Now press tab, we are going to cut it from, I guess, over here. Edge mode, shift alt, then select this line there. Same thing over here, shift alt, this line over here. Then let's go on this one, shift, just shift and then select. We don't want to select all the line, we don't want to select those parts, so just this one. Then again, control E, mark sim, control not control but rather A, press U, then unwrap, and I guess that's it. Just select that all, then let's put it somewhere below. I'll give you my reason that's why I'm putting it low, way down over here, because we're going to put all the wrappings all together in one texture, so it will not be that a lot of work whenever you are trying to put some texture materials over the thing, over this thing. Anyway, so I guess we're done with that, and the last thing that we're going to put some wrappings are this this part, wraps, crisscross wraps. Okay, before we move on, just a little bit of a note that you should also need to consider is whether if you are unwrapping it correctly. So let me just give you an example quick. Let's just try selecting this guard over here, then press tab, press A, and you can see that this is the unwrapping over this part. We're going to put it inside in a little while, but before we do that, we need to check whether if this is correctly done, or I mean, if you're going to put textures in it, is it going to appear as is, or the texture are going to be stretched out. So in order for you to know that, press N while you are at this side, and you can see over here there is a stretching. Just select this one. If everything else is in color blue, it is okay. Meaning that you will be able to put texture in them and it will have no issues at all. Now let's try to select these wrappings over here, since we haven't done anything yet. So let's just press tab, and as you can see, it is not correctly done because these green parts are if you put some textures in there, it will be stretched out. Just a quick note that I think everyone should know. Okay, now let's do the unwrapping over this crisscross wraps. Let's just hide all of these things quick by selecting and pressing H, because we don't want to select unnecessary things. So let's just start with wrap number 2. Select the wrap 2, then let's focus on that by pressing the delete on the numpad. And then what we're going to do right now is go on the edge mode. The important part here is that we will be able to see the showing part. So the inner part, it's not really that necessary, but we'll just leave it at that at the moment. So we're going to press shift and alt, then select this part, so it will select everything else, and press E, control E rather, and then mark sim. guess we could try that out. Press A, select all, then press U, then unwrap. Okay, I guess that is correct, but it is too long and we will have an issue on texturing that if our resolution is very small. So we're going to stay on the 2048 to 2048 resolution. We're not going on 4K or lower than 2048 or 1024 image. Anyway, we just have to cut it somewhere, but we want to make it look like appropriate. So since we are cutting all at the edge, we're going to cut it some part over here. I guess this will do. Just focus on that. Just shift out and then select everything. Okay, then Control E, mark sim. Let's check that out if that will just do fine. Let's unwrap it again. Guess that will do. And of course, that's how we're going to do in the number 2. I mean this wrap number 1 rather. So is everything okay? Guess I just have to select that, press tab, control yeah, I guess we'll select this part, edge mode, shift out, select that part, everything else I guess it's correct. Okay, then we're going to do the same. We have selected all of this one, so we could cut it from there. Control E, mark sim, then press A, so we could remove all of those green things because we don't want that. Now over this side, press again, press A, press U, then unwrap. I guess that will be good. Okay, one last thing before we end is the pommel, not that one. Just bring everything else. Where's that? Okay, this one doesn't have any unwrappings just yet. Let's focus on that by pressing delete on the numpad. Since it's all here, I guess we're done. Anyway, now what we're going to do is we're going to put the entire wrappings into one texture. So let's do that. First, we're going to select the large parts, the most important parts. So this one is very important because the blade is everything in a katana. Let's just move on this one and let's just select face. It will be a lot easier, and we don't need to know whether if the stretchings are correct because those are already good. Let's just move this real quick by pressing G and go to Z axis. Okay, I guess this will do. Then the next large part is the handle, this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to link the blade and the handle also. Just press Ctrl J and then now they are linked. Now we have to select this handle part, pressing B, select that, then let's move it over. So that again, press G and let's just move it inside the box. Now we don't want to put it all in there. I mean, we don't want it to occupy everything else, so we have to press S, scale accordingly. So the blade handle doesn't need a lot of space, so I guess this will do. Okay, that will do. Let's just move this to in the x-axis, so it will not be touching each other, because that will create a problem later on. I almost forgot this part. Select the face, then press L to select everything else, and G, go to x-axis. Okay, I guess that will do. Now the next large parts are this and this one, the wrappings. So let's select number 2 first, and then let's select the blade, then control. Okay, let's just rename the whole thing katana. Okay, and then let's select the wrappings number 2, select katana, and then press Ctrl J. Now if you press tab, oops, I think I made a mistake over there. Let's just repeat that. We don't want that. That's why I am moving the unwrappings out of the box, so that when we like link them together, they will not be overlapping each other. Anyway, let's do that the same over here. GY, let's go to G and Y axis, Z X axis. Let's just select this one, both of the wrappings, and select the katana last, and then press Ctrl J to link them together. Okay, then when you select the katana, press tab, and there we go. These are the wrappings already. So this is the number 2. We need to put them together. Oops, near each other. So this really doesn't matter if they are too close or whatever, because everything else will be in the same texture anyway. It's just we're going to put some white and some cloth materials on that later on. Anyway, let's just move on. Control B, then select everything else, and let's just put it over here and scale it by pressing S. I guess that's too small. S, and then yeah, I guess that'll be fine. Okay, this one. Make sure everything is inside the box, this square, because that will be our texture. Anyway, now we have to select the small materials, small parts. This one, this one, this one. Where is that? Okay, let's just move it over here, and then this one. Okay, now select that pommel bottom, pommel top, the guard, and this blade holder, and select katana by pressing shift. Why is it that? Okay, again, I was lost there. This one, and this one, and select the whole katana. Press Ctrl J to make it all in one. Now, as you can see, everything else is just too large, so we have to resize them accordingly. For example, this one, this is that part, so if it's going to take too much space, it will be inappropriate later on, so we have to scale it a little bit, I guess more, then Let's just GY L G and X. Okay, then I guess that's just fine, but we have to move this somewhere here because we really need this part to be large. So let's just move it. Let's scale it a little bit because it's too large. I'm going to put it over here. Just make sure everything is occupied correctly. So it's really up to you, or how are you going to do the texture. So yeah. And then pommel. Where is the pommel? I guess this is the top pommel. We don't really need much space on that. Just a scale. I guess that'll do. Just put it over here, or just here. Also this one, let's just rotate it real quick. Press R, 180 degrees scale. Then let's put it over here. G. Yeah. Now let's just move it over there, so it will not be touching. G X. I guess that's right. Correct. And then lastly, we have to put this inside. We're in, yeah. Guess that will do. Okay, now let's just save that real quick. And we are actually done with the unwrapping. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to like put an ambient occlusion on this one, so that we could have a nice look on this. Let me just lay this flat with 90. Okay, so we could see it as a whole. Now we have the texture over here. Next thing we're going to do is I guess we're going to move this here real quick. Okay, so that you will have an idea what you should do first. And select this part and go to shader editor. Yep, that's it. Press N to remove that part. And we have to like put a texture in this. So first we have to add new over here. So this is the material. I hope you can see it. Oops, that's too much. Okay, then we're going to add an image. So go over this side, then Shift A. Input, I guess that's it should be it texture and then image. Yep, and put that node color into the base color. Okay, this is just but a preparation. Now, since this is our whole texture, the UV, you need to make a new one. New, we're going to put 2048 as I've mentioned earlier, and that just press OK. Now if it is large, in a large mode like that, just press home or shift home so that we could see the entire thing. Now over here, select let's just rename this katana AO, and over this side look for katana AO, Then when you're done with that, let's move over here real quick. We're not going to use we're not going to be using the EV. We're going to use the cycles, and then we have to bake it and look for, oops, sorry, not in the film, but again, over this side, this button over here, go into cycles, and then not combine but rather ambient occlusion, and let's just set the margin to 5, and then select this again, tab, then press A. Now just press bake. All we have to do is just to wait a little bit. Okay. So I made a little mistake, just in case that your unwrapping doesn't go well, or your baking rather. All you have to do is just to select your object or your katana, press A, and then go to mesh, go to normals, and make sure that you recalculate outside, so everything will flip in the correct every normals will be flipped correctly, more on like that, so that the texture or the ambient occlusion will go as is, because sometimes instead of the black part, instead of the white part, this one becomes black like this one, so that basically means that everything is not going well. So I guess this is it. As you can see, everything is in white color. The white should be white and the black should be black over there. And then what we're going to do next is to check whether if our UV map is correct before we save it. Let's just go back to this button over here and go to EV and just press Z, go to render. Okay, we don't have a lighting yet, so press Shift S and let's put the cursor to the world origin, so we could put what do we call this, light. Sun will be nice. Okay, just press G, press Z, so we can have an idea how it looks like. So this is how it looks like now. Since we already have the ambient occlusion, we have to save that so that we could edit it in Photoshop, so we could make the blade looks like blade and this wrappings look like a cloth and such and such. Anyway, just press the katana, press tab and then select A, pressing A, and then you go to UV first, and then let's just export this layout to our so we could have the UV layout, katana UV layout. Let's just export that, and lastly we are going to save the image. Save as katana AO layout. Okay, so let's just deselect that one, and then let's open it real quick to check it out. AO. Okay, and that will be it. So guys, I guess that's it. Join us next time, and next week we're going to put some textures in this using the UV layout and the ambient occlusion in Photoshop, so that we could make the blade looks like blade and this part looks like cloth, and so on and so forth. Thanks guys for watching. We'll see you in the next one.